Some crappy weather out, so and I thought I'd come through, see if I catch people through, see conversation, a lot of things to explore, and see if anybody's on. I know I didn't give no notice, and I just got through, so I just wanted to see if anybody was coming through. So I just want to see check, 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 check. We're gonna see if anybody comes through. I'll give it some time. If anybody don't come through, I will cut this in half like an afro. But we're gonna see. See how everybody's day's going. See what's the happening thing is. And I hope you ain't wasting your time watching that. Well, I know you're gonna be watching that Dallas, Minnesota game. It's a done deal though. It's over. What a sad waste of time it was. Oh God. Yeah. We will see. Got to see this thing by Martin Lawrence. Let's see. What's this thing? Martin. So we got right here. See what we got right here. Break this down by Martin Lawrence. About Martin Lawrence. So we're working with. See if anybody's on. Martin Lawrence. Interview. Bad Boys 4. Dallas, Minnesota. See if anybody comes through. I see somebody's head. I don't see anybody come through. We're going to find out what we're talking about. We working with. What we working with. What we got. What we're going to be doing. See if everybody's coming through. See what we're thinking about. Looking forward to seeing some voices come through. What's up? What's up? I'm on a little bit early tonight, so thought I'd come on a little bit early. I had some bad weather, and I was available, so I come through. And did my videos about Joe Mazzola, Jalen, and Isaiah Thomas, and Stephen A, and all that. I think I covered all the bases. I heard that they were. What are they saying though? Well, tell them to shut up if I'm them. Tell Celtic fans I'd shut up if I were them. The last person that's winning Kyrie Irving, how it looking right about now? How it looking right about now? I be very careful what I say about a guy like that. You know, 'cause tell you something. He might not be. Y'all know. Y'all asked me last night. They was asking last night in the live chat. One of the 10 greatest point guards, or him and Luka's dynamic. Say something about him. He might not get all that, but he one of the most dangerous players I've ever seen. He's dangerous. He's dangerous. And dangerous means he can go off. Oh, yeah. Well, thank you for letting me know that. What are they saying? They call him the N-word. They forget. See, they conveniently forget how, well, they are racist, though, so. I'm reminded of that. Bet they are. Yeah. Boston ain't exactly the most, it ain't the pulpit for the most sane. And, you know, they're not sane there. They are Klan. I may be one of the few people that you're going to ever hear say this on these streets. They can never do enough to acknowledge Bill Russell properly. Never. Never. Maybe if they burn the whole town down and rebuild it and give him a statue in the middle of it, maybe. They can never do enough for that man. Never. Never. But if you're a conspiracy theorist, you think this finals is fixed, don't you? Because I didn't know that the Eastern Conference winning trophy in the East was named the Bob Cousy Award. I knew about the Larry Bird most valuable player. I didn't know about I'm like, on the Bill Russell. I'm like, is it just Celtic? Oh, yeah, I know he was. I know he was. Listen, it went all the way on. Nothing changed. Boston's one of the most racist places on the planet. And you be in Boston, you think you're in Mobile, Alabama. People don't understand how Klan it is there. They had them clans come out too. I got kin folks there. So, and let me tell you something. It ain't changed much. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you can't overcome it when the police is in on it too. He kept his cool. That's one of the problems I had with Magic Johnson. He never told the truth about how racist they were there. I think that's one of the reasons on the low key why Pat Riley loves beating they behind so much. But the old school knows how racist they are. Well, see, so let me tell you a story. Let me tell you a story real quick. White folks lie all the time. The reason why he got let go, I don't even know if they let him go because of that. I don't even know if they really let him go because of that. Um, the whole thing with Udoka, which I did the video about Joe Mazzola, you know, if that's the reason why they let him go, then why did they hire him for the position? Does that even make sense to you? Let me run it back to you like this. If you are interviewed for a job that has a prestigious offer, right? You have to acknowledge what can you do with tolerance and race, right? So how did they have this turkey in this position all those years when they won a championship and all that for a decade plus, and they let him go because he said he never heard the N word? Does that even make any sense to logic? I just asking common sense stuff. I don't know. You know. So I don't know. I don't know who this Dion Turkey is. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. Well, you know what? They learn from white folks. You know what? Who stole everything? You can't even know what you're talking about. What's happening, Kofax? I don't even know. Oh, yeah. Well, she been a guy. Yeah, that's why you're on here on this site, because you need some education. You gonna go run back to your daddy, Donald Trump? That's what you gonna do? No, Jay Will, that ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. He's gonna be one of those guys in time when they have the top 100 greatest players ever. He'll get his honor. He'll get his due. He's gonna get the Adrian Dantley treatment, Jay Will, if he wins another ring. Oh yeah. No, he lives in your soul. All them races that live in you coming through here. That's why you want to come here and speak your half truths, because you got nothing else better to do. You know, you're clan, so you got nothing else better to do. I know I bring it because that's what happens. You know, yeah, that's why you're here. I'm glad you're here too, because I want everybody to see how racist trash comes here and wants to say something without even knowing what's going on. Got nothing else better to do but to troll black folks. Got nothing else but to do but to show how ignorant they is. You know, I'm glad you're here. Anybody who think that when I talk about how racist the police is or how racist these politicians are, oh, believe me, I got more than 2 viewers. Believe it. Because my thing goes pretty big. So my streams go pretty big. And when I'm cooking about your hero Kyle Rittenhouse, I get a lot of the clan come through. Yeah. Well, my subs been going up. Thank you, Ted. Yeah, tell this ignorant piece of trash what's up. This turkey want to come here and pop off. Oh yeah, I'm getting subs. People been coming, and I didn't heard a lot, a lot. When I go after Jason Aldean, oh yeah, yeah. When I talk about the double standards, you know what? What about the white folks who hire him to clean their yards? Won't you talk about that? Curry, until Luka proves he could do it. And Kyrie had that one, but that's been years ago. So Curry's gonna get the edge. No, it's America combined. What you don't understand, genius, is that you know. Let me let you in a little secret. Donald Trump was flirting with Democrats. Him and the Clintons are best friends. Bill Clinton used to be a Republican. You heard of Dixiecrats Have you heard the term? Have you heard the term? Now, in case you don't know, people flip sides. Like, they flip sides. And so one day they want to be conservative. One day they want to be whatever they want to be. And actually, matter of fact, they kind of veer back and forth. As a matter of fact. Derek Chauvin, huh? Derek Chauvin. You see Brian Mills on my phone down talking about it. I saw Donald Trump do the same thing. I seen Donald Trump having his photo shot with black folks. I see him got Tim Scott on the hook. I see him got Herschel Walker on the hook. Do explain. He had no black staff cabinet members on his presidential. But he still had a white man on his neck for 8.5 minutes. Eight and a half minutes, a foot on the neck. I can't breathe. When you have 3 other cops on standby and lookout, what's that say? And was a man moving? He might have swallowed drugs, but was he moving? Was he moving? Was he moving? Was he subconscious? You see, you can have everything swimming in your tank, but was he moving? Yeah, well, they own you too. They tell you what to do. They tell you what to enforce. Oh, they do own you. Do you think that you can do anything without the Rothensteins? Do you think you can do anything without at the global summit without them all kissing the ring? They all part of the same game. What do you think them summit meetings are when Trump meets with the royal family and all these other people? No. No. His past speaks for itself. He once said that they legally got in trouble for not renting out to minorities. That's a fact. That's documented legally. They both kissing the rings. Doing all right, Rebecca. Glad you're here. Now, doing good. Doing good. Yeah, you always get one that wants to come around and disturb because I have people who have a tendency to be reading. No, the Republicans do too. Why is Donald Trump trying to suck up and get black folks? Why are they bragging about getting more black men on board this time? Thank you very much. Thank you, Rebecca. Do tell. Why is the black vote so important when you can bring migrants and stuff? And all the, conservative party constituents, why is it so important? Tell me why. Tell me why. Oh, really? Then how come there is sanction in conservative states? They'll cut your grass. They'll cut your grass, right? Take the cheese. They get to take what the America allows them. What you don't fail to realize is it takes 2 sides to make one side. Can I say that again? It takes two sides to make one side. So if it takes two sides to make one side, it's a two-party race predominantly, they both work together. No, it ain't. They cut your grass. They do. Oh, Colin Powell, remember him? One of your favorite Negroes? He slipped up that one time and said Jose and Chico was cutting his grass. Remember? Remember? He ain't got no self funds. Putin is his self fund. Show me your tax reports. Show me what you're working with. Mar-a-Lago, documents. Show it. Now they both corrupt. Now, I'm going to tell you something, genius. I ain't a fan of neither one of them. You know, my boogeyman, he's up there. What? Tell me about those African art paintings that he had on display. Well, a few months ago? Black Jesus? Yeah. And buying to no fake narrative. I call a spade or what you want to call. You know, you want to come in here and don't. It hurts mine. But you're the one that's hurt. No, he painted. He had those pictures. You better move on from her. That's all I can tell you, Bernard. You don't need it. You need to heal your sorrows and your pains. You'll be in pain for a while, but your sanity and your freedom is more important. Why are you still here, though? Why are you still here? Because obviously you got nothing else better to do. We're now clan meeting tonight. You know, clan meeting, you can't put your hood on. Where your hood at? Where's your hood at? Well, where's your hood? Say that one more time and I'm going to get you out of here. Statistics say what? Statistics say what? What do statistics say? Bernard, I'm going to tell you something. You can either pray for it or you can be in misery, but you need to find your freedom. Don't let no one take your freedom away, not psychologically, spiritually. If you believe in yourself spiritually, don't let that happen. Yeah, you can, huh? That's why you're here. Survey still says that white people are the biggest welfare recipients. Survey says that they're still the biggest criminals. Survey says that you still have all of these same backing Jim Crow-isms that you did the start of last century. You don't ask nobody to take you back. Survey says that false acquisitions in an unfair, unjust society of a worldwide is more because you have had white privilege. Survey says the communities are garbage because America with 3 Ks who dictates and controls the situations wants to have it that way because they can only profit if they can stand over somebody. Imagine if we have a level playing field. There's no ghettos, there's no Section 8s, there's no hoods. Then what you gonna do? What about white men with guns? What about white folks that terrorize? But I forgot for Halloween, you still dressing up like Jeffrey Dahmer. I forgot that Timothy McVeigh's a fragment of my imagination. I forgot these terrorist attacks that happened in 2001. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's funny how y'all selective. What about it? Who gets to do that? Oh, I know they do. They want to justify things that they can't speak on, because if they were to honestly be honest with what they really see and feel about the population, they'd call out their white brethren for being racist. When we have those insurrections, who led that during a pandemic? Who provoked a federal building? Who brainstormed that? Who saved all the white folks that were in that building that were doing their congressional jobs? A black security guard. That is who. It was because it was on federal property. It was because I've had relatives who were part of the military, and you cannot enter federal buildings and take up like that without repercussions. Try and do it. Go down to your local post office or federal building and take over and dictate and see what happens. We only rob them in the bad stats because that's what they report. Oh, yeah? What about white folks that burnt down towns because of black folks for false riotings? What about that? Tulsa, Oklahoma, anybody? 100 years ago? Rosewood, Florida in the 40s? Birmingham, Alabama, burning a black church? Well, that's a matter on you. It makes no difference. There are people who have lifetimes who remember that. You want to go back? You want to say that how long ago was that? How about when people had to grow up that way? How about if your parents grew up in Jim Crow with separate water fountains, with separate theaters, with separate schools? Make it make sense. Oh, but you know what? It is a part of me, because if I go to said place, that place doesn't have its heritage. And when you have school children, oh, I have experienced stuff. When you have school children who can't be taught about history because they say these anti woke and they don't want it taught, but they will teach you about Abraham Lincoln. They'll teach you about Columbus, but they won't teach you about something that happened in recent times. Yes, yes, I did. Yes, I did. Because I had to go to a separate school. I have not experienced any privilege. I went to a busing school. Affirmative action benefits white people. Do your homework and stop being such a dummy. See, that's how I know you're ignorant. That benefits white folks. Look it up. Look it up before you come in here talking about it. It ain't been this handout for Black America. Not even close. More white people benefit from affirmative action. Just like more white people aren't getting food stamps. Look it up. Look it up. Educate yourself for a change. If you're going to invade somebody's narrative, make sure that you come with the correction and not with your selection. Because this is hilarious. I got some step and fetch jive turkey, and I got some clanman Archie Bunker type coming in here trying to tell me some stuff, and they obviously ain't done their homework, cracking me up. And they think they can come in here and gas it up because they zaddy Donald Trump, who's right now in trouble as usual, messing with some strippers, Mr. So-called moralistic, up there on Epstein Island. Yeah. Hanging out with old Puffy. Yeah. See what we got. Got real hot up in here. See what they say. Just sitting around. Trump's in a lot of trouble. You never talk about policies, son. What policies do you follow? How about the serve and to protect? Serve and protect. Only apply for white. The police, we need anti-black bills. We still dealing with the same thing. You know, we went from Emmett Till to Trayvon Martin. You know, we're still dealing with the same old thing. At least there wasn't Obamacare. What was there before Obamacare? What medical did you have before? Tell me, oh, I'm glad you mentioned Obamacare. Paul Ryan, Ted help him out from Wisconsin, who quit because he couldn't tolerate Trump's jive. How did repel? We're going to repel, we're going to replace, we're going to win. We're going to repel, we're going to replace, we're going to win. Have all that. Have all that. Have all that. But you want to talk about Obamacare. What happened to Trump care? Where's Trump care at? I'm looking for it. Looking in the mail. Go see the doctor. Where's Trump care at? Oh, it didn't pass. Wait a minute. All those repeal, replace, we're going to win. How many things did he pass that actually passed? We went to Mitch McConnell. Mitch, what do you think about it, Mitch? A job application? Are you serious? Do you realize only 60 years ago, Dr. King and others who fought for civil rights just to get you a job, that's what you, after what, 400 plus years of free will and labor, and you going to say a job application, which they still want to know your race? How ignorant and a sellout can you be? They still want to know if you black because they need to use that for their quota to make money. No, he wouldn't. He'd be embarrassed by you because you don't even know how to quote. And he would definitely believe in reparations for black folks. Oh, Trump will get locked up, but he'll still win though. Because America has no morals. And they have a bunch of ignorant hacks who have nothing else better to do but harass people and try to act like they don't see the injustice. They act like they don't see the separate and unequal, and they act like they don't see what's going on. So this is hilarious. Yeah, and they hire white folks. America has no morals. Never has. Never will. Well, if you got to ask what injustice, when you think about George Floyd and you got to think about Breonna Taylor and all the lives that have been lost, they do get reparations. Everyone's got reparations but African Americans. And they still call us the N-word. The community got busted in LA just a year and a half ago because one of the white guys had a black 2-year-old adopted son, and they couldn't wait to go behind the back and use the N-word. I have to read the autopsy. They had a foot on his neck for 10 minutes. What's your point? They already have the Asian hate bill. They never had a black one. 4 cops were on George Floyd. 4. That's all I need to know. That's been going on forever and a day. So, ain't been no balance in America with 3 Ks. Wish nothing. That's why you in here, because you want to get enlightened. And they must didn't tell you about me. I cook jive turkeys like you for breakfast and lunch and dinner and don't care. And all I know is without that hood, you ain't got nothing. Without that money, you ain't got nothing. You can't stand up to nobody black. No, the only weakness is you. They play on your perceived superiority. That's what they play on. You know, thank you, Ted. But I appreciate you being here, and feel free to roast these turkeys too. I got some clowns coming up here today. They loving it. Was he out of prison when he got choked out on them streets? Did he get supporters? Let me let you in a little secret. George Floyd was such a revelation, they pulled Confederate statues down all around the world. The reverberation of one George Floyd had sent waves. No one said anything about it. And last I checked, counterfeit money, a 10 or 20, ain't gonna get you choked out. Now explain that away. Why he get choked out though? Did he deserve to die? Did he deserve to get lynched in broad daylight? You see, your boy Derek Chauvin and crew, because they thought, one thing, the pandemic, people were locked in. So, they were black Confederates, but it was still racist though. Because right now, the good old boys who still remember the Civil War want to go back. They want to go back. Yeah, they can beat Boston because they to me are a better duo than Tatum and Brown. Yeah, but they still walk around with Confederate jackets on. Do you tell me how young white folks still walk around with Confederate jackets on? People talk about don't go back in time, but they still wearing Confederate. People still got to deal with these idiots walking them down the street with Confederate flags and wearing hoods. And it's happening. It's not heritage. You don't own it. Besides, you lost the Civil War. You need to get over it. You want to tell black folks? Yeah, that's why you got to go now. I can't deal with that crap. You got to go. Yeah. Never heard about no George Floyd with all this other stuff. You're up here trying to justify lynching of a black man. Or because Ahmaud Arbery, you know, Ahmaud Arbery got jumped by 3 white boys in Georgia, father and son. I'm not going to tolerate that mess. I mean, you can join them if you want to. Y'all want to come over here and hijack my stream and talk a bunch of nonsense because y'all got nothing else better to do. You know. Oh, I can defend, but I'm not dealing with level-headed people. That's the difference. Because, see, you think white superiority is supreme. So there's no getting around it. As a matter of fact, real haters will love what I say because they don't mind stuff being split and divided. They don't mind. That's how I know that y'all some actors. He couldn't find the right mindset if his head was spread in the right direction because he ain't gonna win nothing. He too corny to win a thing. And he's not believable. And Trump is using him and pimping him for an agenda which he's not gonna really buy into him. No one takes him serious. Well, you still here though. That's the thing. Since my little viewership ain't that deep, why are you still here? I don't have to threaten, I just block. Not hardly. Not hardly. I got family members that go back to different wars in their country, and they feel the same way. And they've been quite successful. So let me let you on a little secret, brother. You know, just because you live in good and large don't mean that you don't know what's going on. Ain't no victim card. It's a fact. There's a difference. You a police profile you and you tell me. You live in the wrong neighborhood, you tell me. No one said anything about black and his disability. I think we're just gonna have to take these turkeys out real quick. I'm done with these turkeys. Done with these turkeys. They have just. Okay. Anybody still alive, still on Let's Talk? Why? Why would I? Give me a reason why. Okay. Okay. I hope you understand why I had to get rid of them people. Yeah. Yeah. I I have a lot I go back with Bill Walton. It's kind of similar to what Chris Broussard said. I remember it too. But I remember him being a freak. You know, I remember when he actually uh oh God, he went at Kareem and it was he was something else for his time. Who lost the intellectual chess match? Oh, well, that's cool. If that's what you say, so there you go. I sure had a lot of people coming through, and I guess so. Oh, it came out of here like, whoa, that was some heavy stuff today. Mm, mm, mm. I want to think I roasted them cats, but I didn't really ask for all that. That's not where my plans were. And I think they derailed my stream for their reasons because they don't like my political agendas or whatever I said. And I didn't mean for everybody to be subjected to that, but I had to come unbuckle. I'm up here trying to talk about the Celtics and the Pacers and, my thoughts and my takes. And we were talking about Kyrie and the racing Celtic fans, and these turkeys come out here and just bum rush. And I don't understand why they felt the need to. I don't get it. I'm going to keep blocking. If I don't like what I am talking about, we have a different type of chat here. Oh, it's with everything. It's with everything. Because when Aaron Hernandez got locked up, they had some real strong remarks about that, however you want to take it. I'm sure Cam Newton went through some stuff there too. So it's a real, you know. I know. I know. People understand how stressful it is and how, it just tugs at you when you have to deal with that crap. Yeah, look at Chucky coming back. Oh God, I gotta deal with this. He Yeah, well, he played in a time period where that was fairly prominent. And he was the one of the few black faces in there. Some cats succumb to it, some don't. You know, for every Jim Rice, there's a Dave Winfield. You read about what Dave Winfield said about George Steinbrenner. If you notice, I did my video yesterday about Steinbrenner and Marge Schott. So, there you go. Yeah, but how many of them do we know that were buck dancers, though? That's the reality. Who all do we know? And it depends on what era. I only say that because, like, someone like Jackie Robinson, who some people said some stuff about, he went through some of the hardest things I could imagine. Yeah, I do feel for Buck O'Neil, but Buck O'Neil was a great player. I don't know if I have the wrong idea. I have family that lives there. They beg to differ. They talk about discrimination. They still talk about white privilege and how they come about with families. Well, you know how that go, Ted. I'm sure Paul Pierce loved it when he got stabbed. They loved it because they won there. Ask Ray Allen how he feels about it. No, it doesn't because it hasn't helped black folks. Mm. Truth about Dick Allen. Truth about Dick Allen. And that's why you got to keep coming here. Yeah. Well, that's what we got right here. So y'all can go. This is such an embarrassment. There you go. What's happening with MaximilianMuhammad? Well, they had to add the stats because it's just like the ABA. You know, it only makes sense, but it's also because of their racial injustice. That's why. Because if you told the truth, the Negro Leagues were more dominant. That's what they don't want to tell you. McNanus. Okay. I forgot who he kicked for. I forgot who he kicked for. Who he kicked for. Oh, they ain't gonna do nothing. They ain't gonna do nothing. That's where Urban Myers had the lap dance, remember? They ain't do nothing. Yeah. How long, you know how long his NFL coaching career lasted with the lap dance? And nobody said nothing. I don't pay that no mind. Um, that's what it always comes down to. Just like Josh Giddey, and people don't believe me. Giddey lost all his NBA scoring powers after that thing. He ain't been the same since. Not the same. I almost think they almost tanked that series. Yeah, they did, and I love that. That guy had a foot on him too. He was gonna make the Bills for real. He could boom that ball. Kansas City just signed him too. Cat had a foot too.
Okay, I found this on the web for to sign into Canada Foot 2.
because his foot is like a young, makes me think of, not fully, makes you put you in the frame of mind of almost like a young Ray Guy. Yo, what's up? What's happening? Susan? Oh wow, this place been bumping now. I was like, dang, this place got on fire. Woo! Oh, the flames came up today. Woo! Wow. Don't get quiet now. We got some flames up in here. This place was lit. Okay, now. Anybody around? Only people that's gonna have some real conversation about some stuff. I don't be dealing with these so-called Trumpicans, these right wingers. So feel free to talk. But yeah, Matarism. That boy could kick. Yeah, well, I told you I'm gonna be doing. Try to do a baseball one every day, at least one. And I wanted to work that back in, and you inspired that. So thank you. You inspired me to start doing baseball again. So I appreciate you on that. I had to come up with different videos and stuff, but yeah, it got me thinking. Cause some of them are not, like Nelson Cruz is considered one of the 10 greatest DHs ever, and I was like, yeah, well, yeah, some of 'em, everybody thinks about Ortiz and Paul Molitor, but I got inspired, so thank you. There you go. Could you imagine Barry Bonds as a DH? And he would have definitely got 3,000 plus hits. Yeah, the problem is that, so growing up, right? I'll share this with you, Tig. Growing up, it was all about being a National League man. I was a Yankees fan, but a National League dude because I rooted. Yep, I rooted because the National League always felt like it was the bigger, stronger division, the Senior League. Then the American League took over, and then I can't tell you when it became the flip, but the American League got it going on now. And it's been that way for, like, I think the American League took over when the rap in the South took over. It's kind of almost like it went syncopation. But yeah, guys like him, yeah. But the problem is, though, you've had some great hitting pitchers, though. So that would kind of almost, that would twist it, because you remember Mitch Bergermeyer. You remember he went off for the Giants in that World Series. Remember, he was hitting home runs. He wasn't Shea or Tiny, but so. But yeah, can you imagine that? I mean, yeah, that wasn't that long ago. So I'm just saying, there've been some National League cat pitchers who could hit. So that used to be a big thing if a pitcher could hit. because some of them came up to the plat and they swung like girls. I ain't gonna lie, they just swing in, just whiff. Some of them were horrible. Yeah, it was. It used to be a difference. Strike zone used to be different, and the level of respect was different. Yeah. Well, I mean when they spanked St. Louis's behind, so. Hmm. Yeah, but that is definitely true though. The reason why most people don't give the DHs love is because they don't get to play a field position, and so some people just say, "Well, you just get to be offense." Oh yeah, I don't know about that. He's not better than Barry Bonds for me. And you do know that some of his home runs were ground rule doubles. You do know that, right? So, well, yeah, I guess so, but I'm not feeling bad for him. I mean, like, it's one of them things you had to come to accept. Not gonna sit there and say that, oh, I feel bad for them, and it's one of those things I had to come to accept. I was kind of my thing is kind of contradictory. It's kind of cap, if you will. 'Cause on one hand, I'm a Yankees fan, but on the other hand, I was more of a National League dude. So, you know, just like in the NFL, I'm more of an AFC dude. I don't really have any. 400 home runs, 400 stolen bases before he got to the Giants. Actually, his first years before everything. And he had ground rule doubles, and he played in a segregated league. So come again with that. How would he have looked playing with black players from the Negro leagues? Imagine what his career may have been like. Actually, that's worse than any juice or steroids. Well, Giancarlo Stanton to me, Ted, is like Paul George. He's the PG-13 of hitters. That's how I look at him. He wasn't juiced. And you got to have hand-eye coordination. Please tell me how a guy who's considered a 5 tool player was so juiced. You don't run and steal bases. You don't take those kind of walks, and you don't field the ball like you do. That's 5 tool. Not as much now, but it was legalized segregation before Jackie Robinson broke the color line. And what they do is they get Dominican cats who look like us and bring them over. That's why. It's done on purpose, just like the NBA is trying to do now. You'll never know what anybody could be into unless they get opportunity. But if you don't bring it to the neighborhoods and places, you know. And the thing about it is, if he did or he didn't, he never tested positive for it when he played. Sosa got busted. On top of that, Bonds was a 5 tool player. McGuire and Sosa weren't. 400 stolen bases, gold gloves. Well, you hope it's a false narrative because you coming here with an agenda. You're up here trying to brag about a white guy in Babe Ruth. And the thing about it is this: I thought Griffey was a great player, but he wasn't a 5 tool player like Bonds. His glove was strong. He could hit, but he couldn't steal bases. He had a better supporting cast than Bonds did too. His own manager said he didn't take care of his body. Lou Piniella did. Yeah. His daddy went through it playing. Bobby Bonds had to deal with the media. Willie Mays is his godfather. I think that just about. He wasn't Barry Bonds. Griffey Jr. got caught up by his own manager for not taking care of his body. Look it up. Lou Piniella said it about him. Said if the kid took care of himself, he'd be better off. And it's not how it works. It's not how it works. I don't know. I don't know who that umpire is. A lot of players tried it, but they didn't have the longevity. You're not he's not my best player. Bonds is the best player I ever saw. Griffey was talented. No. Helps you get your body back. It doesn't make you to be compact to understand strike zones. Barry Bonds could tell you what pitch was going on. He could tell you a changeup, a slider, a curve, a sinker. He was really like a human machine at the plate. That's why he walked so much. They knew he was a special force. It's still going. Thank you, Ted. Buck Showalter loaded him with the bases loaded and intentionally walked him out of respect because they hadn't seen anything like that. He's like a machine. You can't even take enough drugs to be that enlightened to know how to compartmentalize how to be that effective. It doesn't work that way. He had an uncanny ability to jump on pitches. He had an uncanny ability to know locations. That is a great talent, no matter what nobody says. Machines, that's not that man was a building machine. And it wasn't just something that was like, oh. Okay, well, you're entitled to your opinion. And Bonds was the best that I ever saw. But I got Griffey as one of the greatest I ever saw. But I got Bonds as the best I ever saw. But I did think a lot of Griffey. Yeah. I thought Griffey was, I think his best days was in Seattle. He wasted his career going over. I won't argue that point, but being a better athlete doesn't make you a better player. Vince Carter was one of the best athletes I ever saw play basketball. Wasn't the same as a player. There's a big difference. As long as you understand the two, we good to go. Injury prone, and Lou Piniella said he didn't take care of his body. And by the way, I used to live in the Seattle area, so I used to get the scoop. My scoop ain't just related to music and movies, in case people don't know. I'm up on a lot of stuff. They weren't pitching them because he could read them. He could read your changeups. He could read your curves. I seen the man with my own eyes talk about location and width in a strike zone. Lou Piniella called him out on it. He said the kid didn't take, because he was out riding off athleticism. He was his best in Seattle. He saved baseball in Seattle. And, then he went to where? What happened? You forgot all about him in Cincinnati. You forgot all about him with the White Sox. And that turned out to be a bad night and bad joke. He saved baseball in Seattle, though. But he couldn't win there, though. None of them could win there, though. And before you start on me out there in first place this year, which they are, but the Yankees took two. They split. Yankees should have beat them 3 out of 4. But anyway, they split. The Mariners have always been kind of like come up short. We'll see what happens this year. Choke with him and they choke with A-Rod. That's another guy that was a great talent. And before you come here talking about some steroids with Alex Rodriguez, that was a bad dude. It is. I've been there quite a few times. Yeah, because he was built off of Cal Ripken Jr. as far as like the statement size. I don't know about that. Can't say that. Can't say that. It's nice. It depends on what part of Seattle you go to, though. If you go to Chinatown, it's off the chain. Nobody cares about you winning in baseball, TJ. I know you think he did something where he did. Let me put it to you like this: Jeff Kent didn't choke with him. Jeff Kent got an MVP out of it. Baseball is not the same. It's not the same. Let me tell you something. Winning a ring in baseball doesn't have the same merits as it does in football or in basketball. No one ever talks about Yogi Berra in the same sentence with Bill Russell. Okay? Unless you're a diehard baseball fan. Do people talk about Joe DiMaggio's rings? Or they talk about a 56 game hitting streak or being married to Marilyn Monroe? Let me know. Let me know. Well, it's something that you stumble across. Because baseball doesn't carry that same kind of weight. It doesn't carry that kind of weight. It really is a stumble across that uphill because like look at Kirk Gibson. Kirk Gibson won a ring with Detroit in '84, and Kirk Gibson hit that home run off of Dennis Eckersley in '88. Do you hold Kirk Gibson in the same sentence as Robert Horry? And no one talks about Luis Gonzalez, but Rivera is still remembered. I think one of the things about baseball is that you can win rings and all that, but it still comes down to your numbers. It comes down to your dominance of what you did, and there's other factors involved. You was nice there because if you go by Pike Place and Sam's, the Seattle Art, if you go there to the museum first of the month, it's free up there. That was cool. And then there's that oh god, I can't think of it now. Why is it not coming to my head? It's a place where you can go to the top of the you can see the city. I can't think of that place, but nobody says that. Um Let me see. He was the first ballot Hall of Famer, though. That's the question. 400 home runs, 400 stolen bases. He would have been the first ballot Hall of Famer. Had he retired in '99, Barry Bonds the first ballot Hall of Famer. That's the point. Now, as far as the thing with Griffey, it's subjective. It's subjective. But Griffey fell off after he left Seattle. And actually, if you look at Barry Bonds' career, it equaled and surpassed what he did in Frisco to Pittsburgh. So he's got 2 Hall of Fame careers. So I think you done just lost your argument. You're going to take your L. Because actually, Barry Bonds got 2 careers. He was great in Pittsburgh and great in Frisco. Eckersley's pitch, yeah, I think because it went and he hit that when he hit that home run. I still remember it. I got a funny story about that night too. He played too long, and his motivation wasn't in the right place. But that was an incredible night for Kirk Gibson. Well, it's just you. Why don't you ask people in this forum who they pick? I pick Bonds. I don't know who Tom would say, and Ted will tell you whoever he picks. Oh, well, my story was crazy. I was at this girl's house, and her mother was snoring in the other room. It was crazy. It was just her and me. And I'm not gonna get into no more about it, but let me just say something. Kirk Gibson hit that home run, and I was like lost where I was. That's how surreal that home run was. Ain't no hype, man. I don't have no program on people who they pick, TJ. People can pick whoever they choose to pick. It's just that his track record speaks for itself. He was clutch. He was big time. He left a lasting impact. And whenever they talk about the greatest athletes ever, they want to. This guy belongs in that argument. He was that dominant, and there hasn't been another one like him. And I'm gonna tell you something. If it's just about taking steroids, a lot of people took steroids. They didn't have longevity careers. They weren't 5-tool players that were Golden Glove winners, stealing bases, taking walks, knowing pitches. They played two different positions. Now, if you go by how he was in 92, I'll easily give you that. Because when Barry Bonds didn't throw out Sid Bream at the plate, that was embarrassing. His arm was like a pickle. But when he got older, Bonds was a better stolen base man. He created more opportunities, and he actually made his teammates better. That's the thing. Bonds had crossover too, but wasn't like Griffey, but he did have crossover. He helped Jeff Kent's behind out. Jeff Kent got an MVP by playing with Barry Bonds. I seen Rich Aurelia look like something playing with Barry Bonds. Now, throw it on me with who looked great playing with Ken Griffey Jr. Please do. I'm waiting. And I know Andy Van Slyke talks trash, but without playing with Barry Bonds, he doesn't get those kind of deals. And I know by Bonilla, but playing with Barry Bonds, got to the Mets and still getting paid every year. They were a loaded team. Give Barry Bonds A-Rod to play with. Give Barry Bonds Jay Buhner to play with. Give Barry Bonds Tino Martinez to play with. Give Barry Bonds Edgar Martinez to play with. See where I'm going? Give him a Randy Johnson as a pitcher. Please do. That was what they had. Okay. That's what they had. I was there with the Mariners were successful. They, like I said, in the 90s, they just didn't. Well, baseball is not quite like that, though. They lost that World Series in '02, but it wasn't him. They couldn't win with him. And he cried and got himself sent to Cincinnati. And I said that was one of the worst mistakes he made. Because between the Reds and playing for the White Sox, his career went down. So, and look, I think a lot of Gary Griffey Jr. Before people say it, I don't sit around here and hate on him. No, you're not wrong, T, because I lived there. Just like A-Rod went to Texas and got booed so hard. I told you about that night about the A-Rod boos. Hurt my ears. I had the volume on 1 and I could hear, woo, and my ears was hurting because they booed A-Rod so hard and Texas was horrible. And that's the year the Mariners won all those games. in '01. You talk about really catching it. He caught it. They love Griffey Jr. in Seattle more than they did Russell Wilson. That's a fact. He was great, but he wanted to go home. He pulled that LeBron James mess, and it didn't work out. And he wasn't that big of a deal in the National League. And it wasn't really feeling him either because I heard some stories. And then when he went up to the White Sox, that was a bad look, you know. Um, Vince McMahon co-signing, we're just waiting. They they just looked at him as kind of like they he was cool, but he didn't. I don't know. They were turned off by him. They just didn't really embrace him like they did Griffey. They want as long as he was their quarterback. There's bad blood because everybody came back to acknowledge the 2013 team, and he ain't. He didn't come back. So things didn't end up well there though. He made some corny butt commercials there too. I don't know whose commercials were more corny, Russell Wilson's Seattle commercials or Anthony Davis Laker commercials. I mean, they're some of the most corniest, stiff, generic mess I ever seen. Bear, not for long. Did you see last year? You talk about some. I hope his juice ran out last year because he was fighting. Oh, what's that buster that they got as their backup? Vern, that Rule dude. They were back and they were fighting for the backup job. Gino ain't gonna last long. Ain't gonna last long. Took this cat like 20 years just to actually play a full season where he was average. Yeah, but I'm not gonna go there about Jerry Rice because Jerry Rice, to his defense, was a great player, you know, but it was embarrassing. If I go there, if I start veering off the road, I gotta talk about Mary J. Blige's horrible KFC commercial too. So you could say he was, but what about the year that they went to the Super Bowl? They went to the Super Bowl and he did all right against Minnesota. He did win a playoff game or two. Our defense got old. They got old. He was legit. Oh yeah, if you've seen it, if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. I think it was a KFC one. It was brutal. Yeah. All you gotta do is type in the Mary J. Blige commercial. You'll see what I'm talking about. That mess was brutal. Who's a no Hall of Famer? Who? Who's a no Hall of Famer? I don't pick on Steve Wonder. That's a no-no. And I never felt his commercials. Oh, he'll be a Hall of Famer. He's got 2 Super Bowl appearances and he won the Super Bowl. Let's do a roll call. Ask the people in here if they think Russell Wilson's a Hall of Famer. If you think he is, say yay. If you think he ain't, say no. I ain't mad. Just to show this turkey that we ain't in here a Vince McMahon roll call. Russell Hall of Famer, yeah or no? Let your voice be heard. I don't know about no Steve Wonder. I ain't okay. Okay. See? Everybody ain't following my lead. There you go. Are you happy now? There you go. I'm the only one that thinks he's a Hall of Famer. 4-1. I think he's Hall of Fame. 5-1. I'm the one holdout. I'm the one holdout. Because his ring, his individual success, and his stats are going to get him in. But I will say this. he should be in, but them Denver years will work against him. And if he sucks it up in Pittsburgh, that'll work against him too. I think he should get in though. And I know for a fact if they don't choke that Super Bowl against New England, we're not even having that discussion. Yeah, I ain't got no problem with it. But that goes to show you that we have our own opinions about stuff. So just because you think everybody gained about Barry Bonds and the Russell Wilson thing, that don't mean everybody gonna say what I feel or so how I feel. Everybody's entitled to an opinion. There you go. Have you got any other questions you want to ask and you want to see how the poll goes, feel free. That's nice. Barry Bonds, Russell Wilson. Well, we really set this place off tonight. Wow. Couldn't find two more polar opposite cats if you tried. That's funny, Ted. Barry Bonds and Russell Wilson. That's funny. I like that though. That's funny. Two polar opposite cats if there ever was one. And Russell's a brother, but I don't know. I don't know. He left Seattle because they couldn't win. They didn't win in Seattle. See, Tom, I got to explain this to you. Tino Martinez left because he couldn't win. Randy Johnson left because he couldn't win. Even Freddie Garcia left. They couldn't win. And so all those cats left to go get a ring. Couldn't win in Seattle. Felix Hernandez, who was a great pitcher, who would have been like the equivalent to Clayton Kershaw if he had gotten some support, couldn't win. They killed off a lot of careers. King Felix couldn't get no run support in Seattle. Oh, I know about that. And the only person who ever gave Felix Hernandez problems was Mike Trout. But Felix was bad. He never got no run support. That's why these cats left. A-Rod did great with the Yankees. He did great. And of course you want to win a ring. He didn't want to go to the Yankees. But they weren't going to win them. They didn't do him no justice. They didn't do him no favors. Now, I remember Robinson Cano came over to Seattle. How'd that work? Hold up. Hello? Hello? How you doing? I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm just here. Tracy is with Sarah, and she's sorting out the place. She should have been maybe coming sometime soon, but she's sorting out the place. What happened was she got the call about 12 TV. They took a long time with that, so that came in. Sarah was gonna come in about 1, so that kind of worked out okay. And then they got here. Sarah got here. We put some stuff in the back of Sarah's car, got some stuff on, and then um, the guys who was helping the guy with the appointment and cleaned out a lot of stuff. About 70%. So we I got that clear with them. In Tracy gonna fill you in. Brett, I got him to do the side of the water that was dripping. I don't think Chris told you about that. Yeah, he fixed it for me. He been in. But what happened yesterday? He was trying to cut the grass, and the lawnmower kind of died. So I went to go get Brett, especially when I'm very helpful with my right hand. Went and got him, and I asked him. I said, we got to talking. But I said, one thing led to another. So I took him to the back. And I told Chris, I said, listen, trying to this guy, really go hunt, So he didn't laugh in my ended up, he said, because if that thing explodes, he said, it's not going to run against you, but, so I said, well, but he said he would come back today and get his part. So when the guys were moving everything, he had called me on the phone, but I did it from his landline, so I got with him, and then I got him back. He happened to go to the garage too, because Michael left that door open, and so he had to put the, so we locked that up. But he did something on the garage door, but there was a part of the thing, so he did do some parts, and that's what he needs to put. That's kind of like a real lifesaver. Lifesaver. You know, him and his father was close. He has some good rapport with the father, and he came in very handy for us on the long term. So yesterday, after the whole fiasco with the grass, he was pushing 7. I usually try to go down to the yard about 5:30, but it was late yesterday. So I went down there. I told Tracy I was going to knock on Matthew's mother's door, and I saw her and we talked. So anyway, I came back. When I come back home, he's pushing me. I saw him by chance, but he's hard man to catch. So yeah, we had a little it was crazy. I told him I was protecting him. It was crazy. And that was a whole mess right there. I said, look, I said, well, because I go down here and I do this work here, that don't mean that I know him. He's like that. And he thanked me. And I said, look, I said, I'm crazy. He was serious. Well, anyway, talked to him and I said, to come through here. So my situation, even though I was remaining back here with everything, I was pretty booked because everybody came between 2 and 2:30. So the guys came here, and then Brett came at 2, so he called me at 2:25, so I did that, and he came through, so I got in touch with him. And then Matthew, when Brett was back here, and those guys had left, he came to the front. But the really what happened was that there was I forgot, there's a building, something, the kids broke the windows or something. He came to fire back. He said he'll come back Friday and do the glass. But Chris is gonna go over with you and see if Michael about the payment and everything with that because okay. Yeah. It was either that or Vince. But Vince got an electric mower. But I do have connection with Vince. If I was to get in touch with him, it's 15 an hour. So, but I'm gonna go. But Matthew's the way I'm. So, well, it took a little time because what happened was is that um, we had to wait. I had to wait because until the day, and plus by the time the real estate guy told us midday, so that's like half your day. So Sarah was originally supposed to, if they had to get this done before 2, so she said, can we speed it up? So they didn't call because they have a sit you down, delay kind of progression you can do here, and that's just a fact. They don't just, it's not like in America, everybody knows about the state, if you got 25%, they'll give you a key, and anything more than that, they probably break take you out for a meal or something. You pay everything like this, like that. But did they make you wait 3 months too? Because everything was done, but it's just that they make you sit with the solicitor. Everything I ever hear about was business, everything. They still got their money long. I'm like, well, so I said, well, I guess this is what you're supposed to do. I guess if you start bank accounts, right, if you got 10 accounts and put $9,999, you have to wait like half an X or nothing. Because basically you have to think something smart to afford all the politics. Because they really like, this was absurd that they went all the way back. And you have to come with the paperwork and council. I was like, who was this people? Yeah, who is that for? I mean, well, that don't mean that you don't have an opinion about it because it's like, the, I think it's because being in, okay, so you can relate to this, in the state, they take all the paperwork out after 6, 7 years. They don't sit on stuff going back, to when you know, it's fair. So yeah, and we called her and so we did call her and she congratulations and so on and so forth. So I give us a lot of yeah, well, the guys came and got it at first, so when I got those guys to come here, they were almost well, they left a couple shirts ago. We got us to see when they came. And I think they didn't realize all the stuff they were going to take because they it was like something completely different for the space and all that. But we it worked itself out. Got that out. That was the first thing. That was the first thing. Oh, that's good. Well, they got to do this though. They got to keep on going. So I don't think they have a problem with keeping on. If you can get that on. Yeah, I think that once you get past the situation with all the politics we're dealing with here, and so I wanted to say something to you. We don't really have there's no relationship with your brother. So you just put your mind at ease. There's nothing there. You know, I told you that he hasn't offered me a bottle of water. I meant that. So there's nothing there. The whole thing, the whole thing with the tombstone. Oh, wait. What I'm gonna tell you this is that no, it's worse for us. We actually we're lucky because we're there in this community. 18 months now. The things he said, that Monday that I had to deal with all his vitriol and his temperament and that whole, and I knew it was coming. She actually had disappointed me. She had disappointed me that Sunday because I come from church and I called her. I was coming about to the dead place, and she said, "Oh, he's come back from the because I just knew. I knew it wasn't over. And so I dreaded that next day. I just knew it was going to happen. That's when I had to call you up because I knew what he was going to do. And so to answer your question, there is nothing there. No, there is nothing whatsoever. And she doesn't she bless her soul tries with her might to always try to find some good. But he doesn't allow that. Not at all. Because you can't with a two volatile. Um, I don't want to see him, and I don't deal with him. And he pulled up when I came back from Newport because I didn't come home because I purposely got up so I didn't have to see him. And he pulled up on the side. I turned around. I told him to walk. I mean, you're not gonna call me a liar and disrespect me. I came too far, been through too much this time. It's called me a respect. Not he doesn't know the situation, and he pontificates and says stuff, and tries to, wants to start stuff and do things that. No, no, not if he's common sense. Not if he's common sense. Well, yeah, yeah. And then you have the thing, you have the two, you have the stone. So Tracy was upset. She turned her head, but she never walked away that fast. Saturday. So I took it upon myself. If anybody happens to be walking in the street, I didn't walk out there, he'd be locked in the church. And he had, he quite understand. But whenever I did get my conclusion. The bottom line is if you are the executor of the situation, you have the final say of what the said font should look like. You have a say about the enlargement. It is cheaper if you go small. So I went and talked to different people at church and in the street because I was just curious, and I got the same report as you. If you're an executor, like if you have a medallion or anything that you have in your possession that you authorize, you have that right. So no one's arguing with you at all. And see, this is the thing that I told Tracy. Your mother's one, for instance, when I go there for a week or whatever I do, her D and her W is blacker. But when the sun shines, it's more noticeable. And I can see it more clearly. When it rains, that's another story. Your father looks like something that you gave him that card box with his name on it. That's what this looks like. That is fine for like a necklace or a braid watch or something like that. But for his tongue, it's just there, but it doesn't have any. You can't really see it. And if you see it, you better hope the sun is kind of striking on it to pierce it, because if it doesn't pierce, it's just real faint. So that's the form of that. So he did have a say. He did have a say over it. Yeah, do what you want. I'm just telling you what I do. I can own detective work, because I told you the same thing. That yes, you can't, because the money was there. They will not do anything without sending either through fax, through the computer, through the phone, however they do, or you in person. So there's no excuse that he can't say that he did not dream about it, because they have to run it by him. And that's all I was looking for to tell. And and I hate to tell you this, but some people I talked to in the church on the side told me the same thing. I said, I told them, so if you if you uh make the font smaller, you can shoot. That's what was said to me. That's what was said to me. And that's what and that's why I tell kids all the time. I say, that's this pattern. It's not like it's like this whole thing with this water, this tap out here, you put the tape on it. And Brett was like, you don't put tape on us like that. I said, it's duct tape and chewing gum and rubber band. And I said, come on. I said, and I told Chris, I said, that hurts the cost of the sale of the property. Because if I'm walking, I said, you know what you did with inside. But if you don't have the outside looking presentable, and I said, that was tax. Because you chasing up a drop. Well, you don't want to put money. Well, if you don't put money, if you're going to be an executive, most people I know who run estates or have stuff, they like stuff to look presentable. You can't try to sell. It's like if you had a Bentley or Rolls Royce and I put a Pinto engine in it, how's it gonna look? You see, that's what he's doing. That's what he's doing. He cheapens it up. He does that with a lot of things. So this is not. It's not his first rodeo with humans. He, mm, mm. Well, I believe when we get there, and we don't have to worry about getting him to say, I believe that will alleviate a lot of things. Because I do believe that that's been the focal point. It's been the main reason. Because if you have a Taylor DeHaan, that elephant in the room that's always there running and roaming, that's what you get. And he is the source of a lot of expression pictures. He really is. I But I do believe there was a spiritual revelation before they came through. I do feel like that's a power of it. I can believe that it was divine. He said it too. He said it too, but he didn't see it from the same angle as I see. I think, oh, yeah. He and I had a conversation here when he was going on about, why they're trying to cut down on the monopoly and all the way that people who get slumlord and buying everything up. And he was saying, he said, yeah, this and that. The person was saying it because I said, well, you're one of the people that they're going after. I said, lo and behold, you're one of the ones. I said, and I get you playing Monopoly. I said, but the way you game, you trying to play Monopoly. So everything that tends to fall in a certain place, you just so happen to be playing Monopoly. All in. Yeah, but mhm. that when you're dealing with people with agendas and then that's one kind of holding over the head and just trying to because it's a heavy situation. I mean, and I said it, and I said to him, I said, when you deal with death, you're gonna know one or two ways. And I said, it's not going. So, because when you have that, everything that goes on with everything, you have to kind of like compartmentalize and get yourself into some kind of psychological order. And so, uh, and we, and it was because of his energy, that's been like that's been like one of the things that we just about things are going about and do. So and I said once probate kicked in, and I told Tracy, okay, you break. I said, well, I told her, man, go bathroom. What she said, I said, oh, gloves are off. I said, it's pretty big. I said, because now there's no title. I said, the worst thing that did happen to him was probate being granted. I said, but actually that was one of the best because it takes his power away. And he has to deal with y'all with everything that he sells, and he has to basically be political for him. And he has to make business with him. So the point is that well, and he's got to give you money. If he has to, whatever he sells and things, he has to honor that. And see, now he doesn't have that title. He has the title, but he doesn't have it like he did because it came so quick. Because I do believe the spirit and like that's what's going on. I think the evil and the tension is like, look, that's not good. And so now that that comes through, that strips him of that particular juncture. So now it's like you be careful what you wish for because now, once all that's cleared, you don't care no way on nobody. And I told Tracy, I said, I tell her this all the time. I said, I want to be 6 months, a year or two. I said, don't worry. He gonna give me that creepy 2 or 3 in the morning call when he's drunk too much and he's sad and he's bitter. He's gonna do it. He's gonna want that because he got that tendency. And see, this is very careful with the kind of effort you put out into the universe. He's gonna do it because he doesn't have anybody he really trusts because everybody wants something from him. That's where his mindset is. That's a sad reality. Nobody unconditionally loves you because everybody's looking at you like you're a godfather. So that's the reality I see with you. I saw it when we were in the 20th because Mark and Liz and Vicky and Orson and our girl and everybody was like unified. He was a godfather. He made the mark. He flew around, tried to hide his people crazy, got himself almost in a pickle and was beside himself, but was keeping everybody was tightly in his line. I watched, I observed, because it's a chess, because it's a match where everybody's just because of what he can do. There is no love. There was no love. That's all I'm getting at. See, the observation was like there is no love. It's like this is business. That's what he's like. Yeah. You don't have to read it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, well, you want it. I mean, it's one thing that you want things a certain way. It's another when you're trying to do what you're doing before, and that's the only problem that you run into. But again, it all depends on what you worship, and so that's what the react that comes into view, and it may be cold and open hearted, but that's my take up. That's my take. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, but I just believe that's, yeah, yeah, where that's the kind of power that's come with that. So I do believe that things will be, it'll be better. Because I told her last night, I said, it can only get better. It can't get no worse. And I said, you know what you're dealing with. I just try to keep it real about another aisle when it comes to me. I said, because, you know, I do believe that because of your threats to him in late December, he cooled his heels against talking crazy. So I do, because he didn't want no bad publicity in the neighborhood. But at the service back in January when you were here, ironically, it was Brett who came through and we had a meet and greet. And so, and I said how awkward it was about the food. I said, you know how awkward it was? I said, if you ask a question, and they're standing right outside the side. I said, and I tell Chris, I said, I know it's tough for you. I said, because he's the last lingering male image of your parents that you see directly. And I had a epiphany moment when we were riding in the car and I saw him waving. And I said, you can see, I said, but it's hard to, it's just that everything is just been, it's a dual situation. I said, it's bittersweet. I said, you're leaving, I know, in one part of it, but then it's another part of it that you just got to learn. And I said, and that's how he has done it. He's made it, he's made it like, it's like you have to let go completely for business. So, and I, yeah, and I told her, I said, and I said, and I said also, I said, you know, I told her, I said, her and Vicky are his only real direct female, and I said, but his girlfriend, but the one I'm talking about, the last two women that are his last correlation, not including himself. But I'm saying, so he got stuff to think about, it's stuff to ponder that you need to think about before you spew your negativity, because you just don't understand the damage that has occurred. And it's, you got the, yes, and then you got yourself, you got your soul. And the thing is that you didn't get broke down, but the thing is that, you know, and you are blessed in yourself. And there's still people that still respond to you, respect you, appreciate you. So it's not like, so what you didn't get as far as offering. Well, see, this is something that you must know in case you don't, but I'm sure you do. The way I sense it right now, even though you didn't have children, neither one of your brothers, sisters, children are going to make the money. That's what I was told. So I had a conversation. No, dad. So Miss Vicky does something that's not shining bright. And I thought to myself, I said, how for all this accumulation and this lifestyle, you don't want any heirs, you don't want stuff to go on, and you're not. That's what I was told. So that's how cold it is. Just so you get an idea of how cold. Because I've actually tried to have little conversations with him. We had little off conversations, and yeah, I asked him about stuff like that. It stayed cold. So when you, so as bad as you got it with them, imagine having it that close up close. That's how, and I'm looking at him like, how much I can really say to him? Hmm? Well, that's what I was saying to you earlier, because he's the godfather. See, and everybody, this is a ring, and it's a game, and everybody's connected. So, and I'm sure you heard, I know you know about Julia, the girl from Mars, because because her daddy messed with her. So that so you got to play politics. So now he really got to look like he's the big God. He really has to look like the Godfather now because he can't mess up. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I don't know if anybody's still here. I'm back. I had to take care of something pertinent. Let's see. Kyrie was called buckwheat. Kid a thug. Okay, DP, what's up? I hope people are still here. What's up? I had to take a call, something on the other room, so I'm sorry. I just got back. I'm here for a minute. Okay. I was reading some of the stuff y'all was talking about request videos, so if there was DHs, that could be interesting. And so let me read that. What did you say about him? What did you say? Okay, I can. Okay, okay. Let me get onto that. More relatable because he didn't juice. He wasn't relatable when he left Seattle. He he was a great player, but he never made his teammates better. And I hate to say this, but his dad got more out of his career than he did. Okay, I'm back. I had to get a phone call, some business related. They said you. That's funny. No, I'm not coming up with nothing. My stuff is straight, and I don't know who's spreading lies. I was dealing with some people talking about politics. That's what it was, DP. No, I don't even know where all this craziness is coming from. I don't know what that is about. Very straight, and I tell it. Don't have any problem against other people's persuasions and dissuasions, but no, my thing is straight. Well, see, that's one of the reasons why if you let people tell you stuff that you don't hear from firsthand, then you gonna believe that. So no. Oh, I can't. Willie Mays, Barry Bonds, or two. Roberto Clemente is three. Hank Aaron is four. Yeah, I had to deal with the racists. I don't know anything about people making some remarks that aren't true. What's your video request, Drew? And I'll see if I can make it happen. I'll have to look at it. I mentioned four guys that were better than Prime Griffey already. Bonds is one of them. Oh yeah, well, you got to deal with trolls no matter what you do. No, it wasn't because he was a good fielder, and he had 3,000 hits. So how's that one dimensional? Do you understand for a guy that hit 755 home runs and to have 3,000 hits and to have a glove too? How's that one dimensional? But you got Willie Mays, you can't argue with. You can't argue with Roberto Clemente. You can't argue with Barry Bonds. That's four right there. That's four. Well, he had an arm when he was with Oakland. He had an arm when he was with Oakland. When he got older, it didn't hold as much. And I still got to come up with one more. You could make a case. What's up? You could make a case for Alex Rodriguez. It ain't hard because I just said Alex Rodriguez. Barry Bonds, Willie Mays, Roberto Clemente, Hank Aaron, Alex Rodriguez. That's five. You satisfied? That's five. That's five. The prime that you can make that case for. Five. Oh, Albert Pujols. Albert Pujols. And if I go into vanilla world, because there are some white folks that's gonna tell you, oh, A-Rod was a bad boy. A-Rod was a bad boy. Some will tell you Mike Trout. And if you ain't careful, they might say Shohei Ohtani, Albert Pujols. Because if it wasn't for Barry Bonds, he would have been the top dog in the National League. And that's Albert who? Albert Pujols. That's Albert who? He was a dominant beast before he went to the American League. Yes, he was. As a matter of fact, you can make the same case. No, I ain't trolling. You can make the same case for Pujols that you can for Griffey Jr. Because if he kept his butt in where he was, history may have him higher. Well, let's see. Did he win rings with St. Louis? How many rings Griffey Jr. take the Mariners to? How many World Series did they go to? Albert won MVP, dominant. There's only one man that hit him, and it was Barry Bonds. So yes, I could say Albert Pujols. I'm not trolling. I'm being dead serious. Yeah. And Alex Rodriguez was a big time player too. Part of the 40-40 club too. He won MVPs. He won a National League pennant. Gary Griffith Jr. never won an American League pennant. No pennants. No World Series. So, so well, he dark skinned. Well, hey, Rod, yeah, you have to look him up, but yeah. So I named 6 guys that could make that case. Look, I'm not arguing with you how great Griffey Jr. was talent wise, yes. But did he get all of it out of him? Did we get him to the epitome where we thought he would have been that? Not quite. And he ain't the only one that came up short. He went further than some because Daryl Strawberry's a woulda, coulda, shoulda too. You know, but I'm just saying there were guys who I'd say you could make that case different, and they did. You know, there was, but that wasn't the end all be all. It was legalized too, but Bonds did impact it. He did, ironically. He did, ironically. He did. He was somebody you had to gear up for. They put the whole shift because of Bonds. There's the reason why they shifted. Now, if I'm gonna come here and do live streams, I want people to be giving no false lies and acquisitions about me. And if you got a thing to say, you can say it to my face. So please, if you're trying to slander or say stuff, he did get to a World Series. He lost. Griffey Jr. never went to one, except when he was in it with his daddy, his little boy. Well, it was illegal substances, but the thing is that he never tested positive for it. They never proved it on him, and the commissioner allowed it. So technically, when you had Bud Selig as part of the commissioner, they actually had commercials back in 97 with Greg Maddox, who's a 300 game winner, Hall of Famer, Tom Glavine, 300 game winner, World Series champions, in a commercial with Big Mark McGuire. And they were in a commercial with him saying, "Chicks dig the long ball." So you tell me. Okay, well, I'm going to remember that. I'm going to remember that. Okay. I don't appreciate people talking behind my back, for one. Two, I had to take an important phone call. And three, I will gladly be straightforward about anything, but there is none of that. No, I'm very straight, and I don't roll that way. And I don't appreciate people spreading false lies and acquisitions. Can't say they were still was great talents. Bonds was already a great player regardless, and A-Rod was too once upon a time. I don't know if anybody goes off clean because if they did, what's clean? Well, I don't go around calling people that on the streams out there or anything. Have I? Unless someone attacks me, then I tend to take them off the page. That's how I deal with it. If I see someone being vulgar or offensive, I delete them. Yeah, I heard about that. And I think the United States has something to do with that. I only talk about stuff that I can vouch for and verify. So if you come out and say that Puffy's got some ways, we talk about that. I don't come out and talk about people. generally, and especially not any of you. So probably. He didn't really, but he didn't, but his manager came out and said that he didn't take care of himself. Why would Lou Piniella say that? Told him he needed to stretch out. And it didn't matter because his career wasn't the same when he left Seattle. I'm trying to say it for the 99th time. Um, it was legalized in the sport. Bonds was already a certified Hall of Famer. So, yeah. Let's see. Well, I don't know. I don't, like I said before, I don't know what's all that about. So, but I'm here now, and and I got this cat going on about Griffey was Mr. Clean and all this and all that, and trying to downplay Bonds and trying to do this and do that. And baseball has never been a 100% pure game. They've always had something with it. They've had amphetamines, legalized segregation, steroids. There's always something. Built-in ballparks, juice balls. They've always done something to push the game the way they want to push it. And their guys still getting busted. Guys actually get busted. And the thing about it, thank you, DP. And the other thing that I want to address is this. If steroids was such a big, mighty foil against your introduction to Hall of Fame, then please tell me how David Ortiz is in the Hall of Fame. Oh, I know he's on Fox Sports and he does color commentary and he grins and all that. How is he in the Hall of Fame? Since he was busted. In fact, he was more busted than Bonds was. And don't come at me because he won all those rings in Boston and they somehow glorify him and all that. Make it make sense. So, but that's all I got to say about that. Yeah. Yeah, cricket's popular. More in Europe though. But it's like baseball. Yeah. Yeah. Canseco. Canseco was a great talent. And it wasn't just the juice that got him in trouble. He just, you know, I don't know. I think I'm gonna check out though. So I'll come back tomorrow. But anyway, appreciate you sticking around. Peace the best. Stay up, stay safe, stay blessed. And God willing, I'll be back in 20 hours and we'll make it happen. I'm out. Peace.